Hey everybody, welcome back to Kat's Kitchen. Today I am doing some organizing projects inside the home, and I figured I'd bring you along here. I'm showing you my two hallway closets. One is my linen closet and the other one here is our coat closet. So I bought some things to better organize these areas, and I'm just gonna show you how we're doing this. Some of the items I already had on hand, such as these baskets here that I'm pulling out of my linen closet, but we're just going to repurpose what we have. And I did buy a few new things that I'll let you know on Amazon just to better serve these little areas. As you can see, this is a really small closet. Both of these closets are, so what we're trying to do is just utilize the space that we have the best way we can. So anytime that I'm organizing something, the best way that I can do it is to just pull out everything that needs a detailed organization. That's why I left the towels in the closet there, because obviously that's where my towels are going to stay. I'm not worried about those. Those are my bath towels there, you'll see on the bottom shelf. But what I'm doing obviously is going through all the little stuff, things in these little bins, and designating if something is expired, we're getting rid of it. If something needs to go maybe downstairs in my back stock, I do keep some bins downstairs for overflow, and I try just to keep only what we're utilizing currently in these bins here in the closet. So I'm just showing you some Epsom salts, rubbing alcohol, an extra candle, some razors and such. So these are things that we're going to use more so on a regular basis. So I'm just adding these things back in, and we've already created some room so that this bin isn't overflowing. Just trying to keep everything, all the like things together, such as the medicines and whatnot. So I'm just going to sit here and go through all these bins. And this really doesn't take that long, which is nice. I mean, like I said, it's a small space, so you just kind of have to use your space wisely and make objective decisions on what you're keeping and what you're getting rid of. I'm getting rid of that hair dryer because I haven't used it in a very, very long time. I actually use a different one, so it was time to let that go. Okay, so here I'm just showing you guys some white marble contact paper that I'm going to use on the inside of my shelves here, just to kind of pretty it up. We do have original marble window seals in all the rooms that have windows, so that matched really nice. And then here I am just starting to add in the rest of the stuff back into this closet. So the rest of my linens. And I wanted to take the paper here off of the plastic, rather, off of the paper towels, just to make it look a little nicer. And then I just go ahead and stack our toilet paper and a couple rolls of our paper towels in our little basket here. And I put this one all the way at the top just because I don't like when things look really crowded, so I really do my best to just put things where they need to go. So here I'm showing you the final product here with this closet, and my sweeper fits perfectly in there at the bottom. So yeah, so we have everything that we need on a regular basis right here, and when I do laundry, I fill up the other side with towels. So this is our coat closet all cleaned out. I did have that little bar there to hold my brooms. We put that in when we moved, so that is a big help. So now we have just a few items up top that we need to access. I'm just showing you there. I have our coats in here that we use on a regular basis as well. And and all the other coats that we might use are in our other closets. Showing you some of the cleaning, pools and things there, mop, broom. That first one is a scrubber for the shower. And if we have, like I said, any other, outerwear, that's in other closets. These are just what we use frequently. Down here, you're going to see a nice wire shelf. I got this specifically for this closet so that I could put these little baskets and whatnot on here, just to contain the things that I don't need to access all the time, but I still need a place for them. The bottom one has light bulbs and a few other little household things. The second one has, little extension cord and an umbrella, hats, gloves, etc. And that top shelf is just holding, a few things for the table, little decor there. And then on the right hand side, you'll see a piece of wood, and that's actually the leaf for my table in the kitchen. So now it looks all nice and neat in here, and this shelf really, really worked out. So use that vertical space if you have it.
So now it is a new day, and we are moving on to the bathroom. This is our main bathroom. And what we're going to do today is organize underneath the sink. And I also have a cabinet above the toilet. I would like to just spruce that up a little bit and give it a little bit more organization for the things that we need. So we do have a small bathroom. I'll give you a quick little panorama, but I did buy a couple of nice shelves that I may or may not use for this sink. I also have other sinks that I can, utilize these items for as well. So let's get you a look here real fast, and then we'll get right into organizing underneath our bathroom sink.
Okay, so when we first moved in, just giving you a little rough estimate of what it looked like before, we had I'd say a 1960s pink tub with interesting tile. We got this all done with a new window, and then just put in some new hardware everywhere here. New toilet, new vanity, new sink. We put in this beautiful light, this light bar, and this light is really nice. This is one of those ones where you can put on a defogger. If you're taking a shower or bath, you can turn off the light, and then that way, if you don't want the light on, you don't have to have it on. So this is pretty much everything. This is the cabinet in here. So whenever we were remodeling, I purchased this cabinet from Home Depot, I believe it was. And we were looking for a lot of used stuff whenever we were remodeling, just to help with cost. But it didn't, some of the things just made more sense to buy brand new, just based on how much they were. And this was one of those items. It would just make more sense to purchase this brand new compared to the used ones. So I want to get a little bit more tighter organization in here. This is really all we use this cabinet for, these items. And we can't really put too much weight in this cabinet. And that is perfectly fine. I don't really need it for much more than that. And then down here is what we're mostly going to be working with, is we're going to tighten up all of this organization. Well, the best thing that you can do when you're organizing is to try to capitalize on the vertical space as much as possible. You want to think about vertical and depth. So we want to go high and we want to go deep into the cabinet. That way we can utilize everything properly. So first I'm going to clean this out, and then we're going to put some spray in there and clean it up. Or some wipes, and depending on how dirty it is. I may use a liner for the bottom of the sink. I'm not sure yet. I have something here, but if it doesn't fit, then we're going to pass on that. And I may add a mat in later on. And then we're going to utilize these shelves here that I got. These are the ones. I have a smaller one, a little bit more compact with, oops. I have a smaller one here with these little dividers in there. And they just kind of open and close like that. And then this larger one for probably cleaners and stuff like that. And I like it this way because it's not the full length. That way you can have larger bottles that stick up on this side. And then I do have these little acrylic drawers, maybe for feminine hygienic products or other little things. So that's cute too.
Alrighty, so I'm just starting by taking everything out again. Then we're going to clean this cupboard out, like I mentioned. And we will get to utilizing some of those new products, those new shelves that we bought, to see what's going to fit the best in here. And that's generally what I do, is just try a few different ways of organization, especially with these small spaces. You can really make these small spaces work for you with just utilizing, like I said, the height and the depth of what your space is. Now, I did this in, I believe, 2 different days, if I remember correctly. And, you know, you don't have to get everything done all in the same day. You can take it in little steps. But I can definitely assure you that reporting from the future, these little spaces that I organized have all stayed really, really nice and neat. The one cabinet in my hallway that houses, you know, the one acrylic cabinet that I have, you know, some of the overflow stuff from the house in, that one gets a little bit full from time to time, but that just kind of reminds me that I have to take some of the overflow stuff downstairs in the basement and put it in my overflow section. I have shelves in my basement also for more organization, to, you know, let me know, like that's like my back stock, so that everything doesn't have to be up here all the time, because it obviously would not fit all up here. So if you have a small house like we do, definitely utilize a portion in your basement if you can with some shelves. I love shelves. As you can see, I use shelves absolutely everywhere, and it just helps so much. So here I'm just getting our little shelves in here properly and just seeing where things are going to fit nicely, making sure, you know, the little sliders can slide out and not hit anything. You know, make sure that nothing's bumping or in the way. And like I said before, like I like things to be a little bit streamlined. I like to be able to open up the cupboards or the cabinets and just look in and see exactly what I have, and not have to fiddle around or wonder what we have, what we need, especially if it's a shopping day and I need to make a list really fast. I like to know exactly what we need to buy, so I don't want to, you know, fuss with it too much. I like to kind of place things where they need to go and make a little home for them. And then as I use them, I put them back and I know exactly where they're at. So here I'm just switching around the nozzles for these spray bottles so that they all face the same way. This is just something, you know, maybe a little OCD. You don't have to do this. I just like it easier whenever I go to, it's a personal preference. When I go to grab the cleaner, I want to be able to grab it with the hand that I'm, you know, grabbing it with, dominant hand or whatnot. And I just like them all to be facing the same way. Doing it this way too also helps me only keep a certain amount in this, you know, little shelf, and then I don't overstuff it. If I were to pack it in here really, really tight, then I would be kind of more inclined to not see certain items that I may need, or over purchase whenever it's time to go shopping. That's why it's nice to have a little bit of wiggle room in there so you can see what you have. So I'm just placing all the really small stuff at the very top. This little black shelf came with some hooks, plastic hooks for the sides. I don't find those little hooks practical, I'll be honest. I end up moving my shower cap because it just was not practical to have those little clips there. It's because anything you hang on them was going to hang down into the products that you had below it. So now I'm just trying to see where I want everything. I'm going to put my, feminine products in here in these two little sliding drawers. They fit really, really nicely in here, and because, you can kind of collapse them a little bit, you can set them in here really nicely. And I do like the acrylic clear containers. You can get clear ones, you can get baskets like I have there if you don't like to see absolutely everything that you own. That is clearly a personal preference, whatever you like. I have a mixture of both, obviously, here, and you'll see throughout my house whenever we're organizing. So this is the finished product for underneath the sink. I do tweak a little few things in here just to make it a little more adaptable. That is the whole purpose of organizing, is to make it the most practical and adaptable for your family. And that is what's going to make it last after you organize. So here I am. We are at a different angle. I apologize about this angle not being, perfectly up into the cabinet, but I am just straightening out this upper cabinet a little bit. I really just keep some toilet paper, tissues, some soap, and then just a few other small little toiletries up here. So I'm trying to streamline exactly what we need so there's not too much weight in this cabinet. And, I'm going to utilize the little basket that we took from underneath the sink and put our soap and Q-tips in there. So it's nice to look around the house and see what you already have to see if you can repurpose it in your organization. Alrighty, so this is the after look here of our cabinet hanging on the wall. And here I have, like I said, our soap and some Q-tips in a jar. It just really tidied up this space. And so now we're going to take a look here at underneath the sink. I was able to fit the garbage can up there on the left-hand side, so that works for me. And we have everything else really accessible, and I even have a shelf that's not used yet, so that's going to be perfect for anything extra that we need a little room to grow. Okay, so next we are in the kitchen. I'm sure you guys are familiar with my kitchen, but this is what my under our kitchen sink looks like here. So with my previous strategy, I did try to use the depth of this cabinet, but things just get lost and obviously bags get thrown in here. It's not really a proper system. Things I use every day, like our soaps and gloves and scrubbies, they just need to be a little bit more accessible. And there's other things in here that I never use. So we are going to clean this up. And I have this similar products that we used in the bathroom. I have the tall 2-tier shelf, the smaller one, and I have 2 drawers. All right, so here we go with the clean out first. Obviously, we need to take inventory and see what we need, what's going to be used here in the future, what's expired, or what we can discard. So we're just going through here one by one, and as I'm pulling things out, I'm making piles for everything too. Some things are perfectly fine. I'm just moving them downstairs to my back stock, just like I had mentioned with the things that were in my other closet as well. So once we have this all cleared out here, we're going to reassess what the only things that I only want to keep things that are absolutely necessary for up here. That way I'm utilizing this space the best way I can. If you're having trouble deciding if you need something or not, sometimes what I'll do two different things. I'll think of if I've used it in the past 6 months to a year. And if I haven't, but it's, still questionable if I want to keep it or not, I'll maybe put it in my garage in a box. And then 6 months from now, I'll revisit it. And, if I needed it during that time, I'll probably go out and get it. But if I didn't need it after that additional 6 months, whenever I clean out the garage in that time, I will probably then get rid of it at that point. And that could apply for many, many things around the house. If you're having difficulty making decisions on getting rid of things or not, this could be clothing, furniture, even just like little household knickknack things, or even hardware things, things that you just don't know what to do with. Do you donate them? Do you give them to a friend, give them away? And then at that point, if we know we're definitely going to get rid of something, then we can assess where it goes at that point, or ask people if they want it before we, donate it. And usually I do clean out our garage about every 6 months. That usually seems to be a good time frame for keeping our garage fairly clean as well. A garage just has so many moving parts, as you all know, and so many different things in it. So maybe that could be another video for another time, but at this point I've already cleaned out our garage for the season, so I won't need to do that now for a little while. But I have been using this system now for almost 6 months, and I'm really happy with it. These little shelves really worked wonders under here, under my sink, in both my bathroom and my kitchen sink, and it's really helping me to stay organized. The only thing I don't like about this acrylic drawer opener here is, you see I have my scrubbies in there, I'm showing you now, and I have my little vegetable cleaner brush. If you put them away wet or damp, it will collect mold in there. So you need to be mindful of that. So you might just want to let them completely dry before you put them away. That is the only real downfall that I have found with this system so far. And I'm keeping the things that are in front, obviously the things I use on a daily basis. So that's the way I'm organizing these bottles, to make it easy. Like my oven cleaner, I don't use that all the time. Carpet cleaner, I don't use all the time. That goes in the back. Barkeeper, that little clear bottle with the black label is for, it's mineral oil for my cutting boards. Those are rarely used, so we're just making room for them in the back. And then just gradually, the things you use on a daily basis, we're moving those to the front. So here I'm just showing that I refilled all of my reusable bottles here, so they're all topped off nicely. That's usually how I buy cleaning products, is I just buy the refillable bottles and fill up my spray bottles with them. Because a lot of the cleaners I buy, you do have to mix with water since they come concentrated. So yeah, so this really helped me significantly, like I was mentioning before, and this really didn't take me that long. I want to say, I know we have the video sped up here a little bit, but I think I want to say this took me maybe about 30, maybe 45 minutes tops just for this sink alone. So if you have a project that you've been considering doing, um, I would encourage you to maybe just take some time to, even if it's 20, 30 minutes here or there, to try to get it done. And maybe even set a timer if you're really strict for time, because you might be very surprised on how much you can accomplish with just about a 20, 30-minute window. So I'm going to put my vases in the very back here. I don't use them often. I put my fire extinguishers on the right hand side there so that they're easily accessible, and just fitting in my last shelf here. The last shelf here really isn't going to have to hold too much. I was trying to decide what to do with my bags, so I ended up putting my bags on the bottom shelf, and then just a few, light things on the top, such as my dishwashing gloves and whatnot. If anything, this little shelf really just acted as vertical space for me, so that things would stay a little bit more organized, and I was using that vertical space. But obviously it is so lightweight, you really can't put anything heavy on here. Like I was mentioning there, I was kind of messing with some of those black clips that came with the black, a shelf there, but I feel like those clips are kind of useless because there's no way to hang things on them without either knocking stuff over, or you can't get to them. It's very kind of hard to describe unless you're trying to use it, or if you do manage to hang something on the little hook, it ends up running into other things. So here I'm just trying to figure out what kind of system I want here, and that's really all I encourage you guys to do too, is just make it very, very easy and practical for yourself and your family. And if it's not, then unfortunately there won't be follow through with it if it's not easy for you. Okay, everybody, here is the after. So let me walk you through what we did here. As you can see, I put the tall black two-tiered cabinet on the right-hand side, and I put all the things that I use up front. So I use our dishwashing liquid very frequently, obviously, and then it's also the tallest things, so it had to go on that corner. And then from here back, I filled up all of my refill bottles, and then I have this stuff that's in the back is stuff I rarely use. So that's kind of how I organize that. Up here is for trash bags. That is dishwasher cleaner, and then our wipes. Then we have our scrubbies in this container here, and our gloves, disposable gloves here. I'm just gonna keep the back stock downstairs for all the overflow stuff. I'm not gonna keep it up here anymore. So I'll make room for it all downstairs, which I actually already have a place for all the back stock stuff. And then as you saw in this little container here, I repurposed this from last time. This is holding everything that I really don't access, but it's nice to have. This is a little snake for the sink in case it gets clogged, some scrubbies, and SOS pads. I really don't use SOS pads on my dishes or pots. It's okay to use them on the outside of stainless steel pots, but I heard that they could really scratch
the inside of stainless steel, and I have all stainless and cast iron. So I really only use those SOS pads for cleaning around the house, like cleaning tile or something that needs a lot of abrasion when cleaning. So those are in there. It's like when you need them, it's nice to have them, but I don't use them often. Now, I tried to stay away from the pipes as much as possible, and you'll see back there, I tried to tuck all of the other plumbing behind this shelf here. And this is everything else here. Obviously, stuff for dishes here. This is just our bags. We need somewhere for the mountain of bags to go. And then I can access my scrubby here. And then below that are just some insect sticky pads. So everything else, some of it's garbage and some of it is going to be going downstairs and getting organized. I have a place underneath our sink downstairs to place things, as well as I have a 3-tiered rolling rack in between our washer and dryer. So if I do organize that, I'll show you guys that too. It's pretty much already organized, but if I'm going to be adding to it, I may have to redo it. So this is it, guys.
So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I have a few more organizing videos coming up. I have to do a few extra things in the kitchen just to help out one of my drawers, or maybe a few of my drawers, and some of my other cupboards. So stay tuned for that. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye, friends.